Well, my name is Sylvia Rendells and I live at the Willows. I've been here about 10 years and it's a nice place to live. It's peaceful and quiet and I like that.
Yeah.
And I've got no wish to move anywhere else now. I'll fall off my perch here. But I go back and work in my own workshop. I've got to do stone polishing and wire wrapping and I paint and I knit and crochet, but I do a lot of that here. So.
Have you had any luck with the gem hunting?
Well, we found some little pieces, but not a great deal. We haven't really been really right into digging. We do a bit, but not like some.
Yeah.
I've got too many other things to do.
How would you say you have like a shoebox full of sapphires, or would you say less? No.
Probably a tobacco tin full of sapphires. That is about it.
Yeah.
When we lived in Bundaberg, Len got involved with some photographic people and so forth, and they were interested in movie cameras, and Len said, "Oh, that sounds like fun." He'd never used a movie camera before.
Why not? Yeah.
And we sort of got together with a group and we started our own little movie theatre there, the Mini Cine Theatre it was. And we had a couple of years, we had a showing, you know, people could bring their movies and show them and so forth. And we saw a lot of interesting home movies, I suppose. Actually, we won a competition with one. We made the one on, we used Anzac. We used the song, the band played Waltzing Matilda, and we used that for a background for it, and we filmed it. Some of it was on the beach, and we had a lot of fun doing that. So that was a good one. That was the one we won a competition with. Another one we did on a racetrack. It was funny because we had showed all the bookies and everything in the crowd at the races, and then when the race started, it showed all the girls of the club running, galloping down the track, pushing and shoving, and Another one we did was a fella needed a sheet of fibro to put on the wall of his house. And we showed this wall, and he went off on his push bike to get a sheet of fibro. On the way home, he stopped at the pub. This is in Bundaberg. Stopped at the pub, and we talked to the publican about shooting in the bar. And, that's fine, And everybody, some of the men thought, oh, this is fun, and they all. Anyway, went in there and he had a few drinks, and then he had a few more drinks, and it showed the clock going round. 3:30, 4 o'clock, and he decided he'd go. And when he left, he got his bike and he got the sheet of fibro and he got on it. He was riding off, and he had to ride down a narrow street, and two boys on a billy cart. He nearly ran them over, and they fell off the billy cart on the footpath. And the old lady was coming out of her gate, and she had an armful of books. And she really wanted, she was from the old people's home, and she really wanted to be part of these movies. And they said, well, we'll get you coming out of the gate. And she had this armful of books, and when the fellow on the bike came down, he sort of almost hit her. She dropped this armful of books, and this was her doing. She had an armful of Playboy. She was a funny old thing. And when he got home, he rode in the gate, and there was a pile of sand there, and when he looked, there was a girl sunbaking on the lawn, and he was looking at her and hit the pile of sand and fell over and broke his sheet of fibro. Well, I was mostly editing and sound and that sort of thing. I learnt to do it very smartly, surprised myself. And because we built our own little dark room under the house, and so we And we used to print our own stills as well, and that sort of thing. So some of those, probably not for public viewing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it was all good fun. We had a boat. We used to go up to Myra and go across the river and camp on an island. And one night the tide came up, it was a big tide, and lifted the boat up onto the anchor pulled, lifted up on the bank, and it turned upside down. It was a 19-foot half cabin. It wasn't a new boat, but we went out in the morning, there's the boat upside down. And then said, "Oh, shivers," he said. "My camera was in that."
Not that the big old boats
did that. Was an expensive camera that went under. So, and it couldn't be, because it was sunk and
revived.
But some people came across in boats and canoes and everything, and they dived and brought everything up. There were tools and everything. I don't think they missed anything. They were amazing.
Yeah.
Well, when we got married, Len used to play the guitar and sing. Played in every pub in Tamworth, I think. And because he'd come home, because he used to work away a lot too, in the council there, he'd be working up at Niangela and all these places, he'd be away all week. He'd come home Friday evening, "I'm playing at such and such tonight." "Oh, okay." So he'd go off, and Saturday night, "I'm playing at such and such tonight." Sunday night he'd be playing somewhere else with another, group of young fellas. And after a while I thought, well, if you can't beat them, join them. I said, "You better teach me to play that thing." So I learned to play the guitar, and I was singing too. The first time I ever sang out was we went with Buddy Bishop to the Corribubula Hotel, and I knew 3 songs, and we were involved with the start of the country music thing in Tamworth. Yeah. Len was on the committee that got it all underway to start with. Yeah.
And now it's an institution. Yeah.
I wouldn't go back there now. Too many people.
Yeah.
The first show we had, Oriel Andrews was the guest artist. I don't know whether anyone even knows of her now. She was an Aboriginal girl, but she could sing. And that was our first show, and it was had it on the Saturday night. We had a competition on the Saturday, a talent competition, and had it judged on Saturday night. And then Sunday we went down to the park and had a sort of big round circle, and everyone with a guitar if they had one, and you'd sit round just pass the guitar and sing, and it was great fun. It's all got out of proportion now. I'm afraid I'm not a lover of crowds.
Yeah.
But the second one we had Slim and Joy and David and Ann as the guest artists, and that was a good show. Len used to sing they had a Sunday night radio direct, live thing on radio, half an hour of country singers. And Slim and Joy would go there one night, and I was sitting there with Slim and Joy, and Slim, Joy was sitting beside me, and Slim was sitting down there, and Joy leaned forward, and I said, your zip on your dress isn't done up." "Oh," she said, "I asked Slim to do that." They were lovely people. They were wonderful people. We had spent quite a lot of time with them, and on a few other. Buddy Bishop, he was one of the first Australians to record. No one even knows of him now. Yeah. We actually Len did an interview like this sort of thing. I filmed it, and he was interviewing Buddy Bishop. And I don't think that's on one of these. So it's probably still on a Super 8 film. Len bought a good, fairly expensive Super 8 camera, and that's all we used really. He had that one. I had one that wasn't as flash, but I did some filming with that. When there was one thing, he and another fella in, and they went fishing and they got drunk and fell in the river, and and I did some of the filming for that one. And so it was a laugh. The whole thing was a laugh. And when we used to play the guitars, when we first started playing, the kids would be asleep in the guitar case behind the speaker sort of thing. When they grew up, Paul plays the violin, the younger boy, and also guitar. He can play rhythm and lead guitar. And the older boy, he plays a bass. So when they got up a bit, we had our own little group. Oh, we were just the Rendells. I never thought I'd be able to give him my life story.